The movie begins with a high school student named Kosaka narrating about his boring life. He is smart and hard-hearted and is popular among the girls because of his dashing looks. During a class, Kosaka observes a girl named Shikano picking up dead bees from the class dustbin and is weirded out by her. She appears to be very rigid and introverted, and as a result, she is often bullied by her classmates. Because of this, Shikano is depressed and is known for inflicting self-harm. One day, Kosaka approaches Shikano and strikes up a conversation with her. After talking with the girl, it's clear that she has piqued his interest. The scene then shifts to a girl from the same school named Jimiko, who is with her best friend, Kayapiko. The latter turns out to be obsessed with the concept of love and is disliked by the other students because of her constant need to change boyfriends. On the other hand, Jimiko despises relationships and has never had a boyfriend. She has a younger brother named Yachiyo, enrolled in the same school. Next, we are introduced to a pretty girl named Nadeshiko, who is constantly confessing her love for Yachiyo. However, he is apathetic and couldn't care less about her. It's clear that Nadeshiko is confident in expressing her feelings as she flirts with Ichio on a daily basis, even though he always dismisses her. Meanwhile, Shikano is seen burying the dead bees inside the school compound when Kosaka stumbles into her. He offers her an ice cream, which lights up Shikano's face, and the two walk home together. One day, Yachiyo is at home watching a video of a murderer who is confessing his crimes. Suddenly, his older sister Jimiko barges in the room, prompting Yachiyo to immediately close the video. However, when she presses him about it, he comes clean about what he was watching. She scolds him and warns him not to watch those types of videos again. The following day, the principal of the school addresses the recent increase in crime in the city and advises everyone to stay safe. It turns out several students have gone missing in recent weeks. After the lecture, Kosaka finds Shikano on the roof of the school building, about to harm herself. Upon being discovered, she attempts to jump off the roof, but Kosaka immediately intervenes and stops her. It is now evident that Kosaka has feelings for Shikano as he embraces her tightly in his arms. In the meantime, Nadeshiko carries out her daily duties of flirting with Yachiyo and follows him everywhere he goes. She even goes as far as to ask him for a kiss, but as expected, Yachiyo refuses. The scene then shifts to Kayapiko, who turns out to be dating yet another guy. However, like all the other guys, she dumps him. Later, as she tells Jimiko about her decision, it's revealed that her pattern of dumping guys is due to her fears of betrayal. A few days later, Kosaka and Shikano visit a nearby temple and spend some quality time together. This strengthens their relationship even more, and it's clear that they have chemistry. Elsewhere, Yachiyo calls Nadeshiko into a classroom and shockingly asks her to be his girlfriend. Overcome with joy, she begins to tear up, but just then she wakes up and realizes that everything was just a dream. In the meantime, Kayapiko is yet again in a relationship with another dude. Due to her constant need for love and attention, Jimiko suggests that she change her habits. However, Kayapiko thinks that humans are born to be loved and wants to live her life according to her beliefs. Later, it's revealed that Kayapiko has had a long-term crush on a good friend of hers. However, she has been unable to confess her feelings to him, afraid that he will turn her down. In the meantime, Kosaka and Shikano continue to spend a considerable amount of time together. One day, Nadeshiko meets Yachiyo at school while he is playing a board game. She surprises him with 2 tickets to a movie that he wants to watch and invites him to the theaters. Without hesitation, Yachiyo accepts her offer, much to Nadeshiko's shock. The next day, Kosaka and Shikano receive their final exam results. As expected, Kosaka gets a near-perfect grade, while Shikano gets a low mark and is disheartened. Because of this, she decides to spend the night at his place because she doesn't want to get lectured by her parents. Initially, Kosaka refuses to let her stay as he works part-time and he won't be home at night. However, after a bit of consideration, he tells her that she can stay at his place even though he won't be there. That night, Kosaka finishes work early and eagerly returns home to see Shikano, only to find that she hasn't arrived. After several attempts to call her, Shikano finally reveals her whereabouts. Kosaka immediately heads to the location, which turns out to be a park. He finds Shikano there, and she invites him to set off some fireworks. However, all their attempts to light them are futile, so they end up eating ice cream and walking back home. The following day, Yachiyo abruptly calls Nadeshiko and asks where and when they should meet for the movie. This sudden call from Yachiyo makes her very happy, so she tries to record their conversation. However, he quickly understands what she is doing and hangs up angrily, much to Nadeshiko's dismay. The movie then cuts to Yachiyo reminiscing and narrating about the first few times that Nadeshiko had confessed her feelings for him. It turns out that this entire time, he had always taken her feelings as a joke, but now is beginning to understand the sincerity behind her actions and words. A few days later, the two meet up outside the movie theater where Nadeshiko seems very nervous, while Yachiyo is quite relaxed. As they watch the film, a million thoughts go through Nadeshiko's head. Afterwards, as a gesture of thanks for getting him the tickets, Yachiyo asks if there's anything that he could do for her. Nadeshiko asks him to hold her hand for 10 seconds. To her delight, he holds her hand for the entire walk home. Then, as soon as they reach her home, Yachiyo abruptly confesses his newfound feelings for Nadeshiko. It is then revealed that the reason he has always been dismissive of her feelings is that he was afraid that Nadeshiko would leave him, just like his ex-girlfriend did in the past. Hearing this, Nadeshiko hugs him tightly and reassures him that everything will be fine. Elsewhere, Kayopiko's crush decides to break off their friendship, claiming that he has to spend more time with his girlfriend. This shatters her heart, and she is filled with regret for not confessing her feelings for him. That night, she conveys her grief to Jimiko, as she is the only one whom she can share this stuff with. It's then revealed that the two have been very close friends since they were kids and have been there to support each other from the very start. Meanwhile, Nadeshiko and Yachiyo spend more time with each other as a new couple. On the other hand, Kosaka and Shikano are also close but still haven't started an official relationship, as both of them are unsure about it. One day, they hang out on the roof of the school building as usual. Shikano, in a depressing tone, states that the world would not change if she dies. Kosaka, however, says that he might change due to her death. He then tries to convince Shikano that her life isn't meaningless and that she has a lot to live for. But as he continues to talk, she falls asleep. Kosaka takes this opportunity and kisses her on the cheek. On their way back home, he asks Shikano about her future plans and suggests she study at the same university as him. It's very obvious from their interaction that they have reached the point where both of them care deeply for each other but are still afraid to say it out loud. However, before heading home, Kosaka finally gives in to his emotions and says that he wants their relationship to advance to the next level. So as a result, the two officially start dating. Later, as he walks home, a strange man dressed in white approaches him from behind and starts asking weird questions about Shikano and his relationship with her. Kosaka tries to avoid him and walks away, but the man pulls a knife and suddenly stabs him from behind. The man turns out to be the serial killer who has been murdering people, including the ones from Kosaka's school. The serial killer quickly leaves the scene, while a wounded Kosaka falls to the ground and bleeds profusely. Before he loses consciousness, he remembers his mother and also Shikano. In his last moments, he goes through several photos of Shikano on his cell phone and smiles thinking of her before slowly fading away. Later that night, Shikano receives a call from Kosaka's mother, who informs her of his death, leaving her in utter disbelief. Following this, we are taken to Kosaka's funeral, where Shikano doesn't shed a single tear as she is completely shocked by his passing. Others, including Nadeshiko, Jimiko, and Kayopiko, also turn up at the funeral. That night, Shikano dreams that Kosaka is in her room. She gets upset with him for dying, as she was the one who wanted to end her life in the first place. In her dream, Kosaka confronts her, whispers something in her ear, and makes her promise to do what he said. He then kisses Shikano, causing her to wake up abruptly and start crying. In the afternoon, Shikano visits her late boyfriend's home, where she is greeted by his devastated mother. She then goes into the room which Kosaka had told her to search in her dream. To her surprise, she finds various gifts prepared for her and a birthday card wishing her happy birthday. It is revealed that the day of Kosaka's funeral was also Shikano's 18th birthday. Overcome with emotion, she hugs all the gifts, remembering him. The same night, Kosaka enters her dreams once again, where she thanks him for all the gifts. In response, he tells Shikano that she should eat well and study hard from now on and build a better future for herself. He also reassures her that he will be watching over her on her journey and will always be by her side. So, from that day on, Shikano begins to change her life for the better and starts to study diligently. The movie ends with a glimpse into the future when Shikano attends university with the hopes of finding something meaningful in her life.